What's going on, everybody? It's Bobby from the Casual Hour, and joining me today for this quick look is Johnny Amazich, my co-host. Johnny, what's up?
Hey, Bobby. Good morning.
Good morning is right.
I'm drinking my coffee. Sitting here. We're gonna go through this game, Loop Hero.
Yeah, man.
Now,
Loop Hero.
This game.
What is this game?
Very cool. This game is has card collecting elements. It has base building elements. It has some RPG elements.
It's kind of a mishmash.
Yeah, but you take all those things and you wouldn't think, okay, you could make an amazing game out of all these ingredients necessarily. But somehow they did, because this game fucking rules.
Yeah, this game is really fucking cool. Here at the Casual Hour, we do some things called quick looks, where we're going to do like a kind of a deep dive into a particular video game and just show you some early mechanics, kind of our hot take on it. That's what we're doing here today with Loop Hero. If you like what we're doing, like and subscribe to the channel. We post a podcast every Wednesday night live on Twitch, and we're also on any podcasting platforms on Friday. But if you like what we're doing, make sure to give us a follow there as well. Twitch.tv.
Smash that like button.
Smash the hell out of the button. All right, Johnny, so let's get this straight. You've played this game a bit.
Yeah, I put a few hours into it.
Have you progressed to the second boss? Have you unlocked any other classes? Like, where are you at with this game?
No, I haven't unlocked any classes. I can make it to the first boss.
Okay.
And I gotten very close a couple times, and after dying, I decided I would do a few more loops to just try and harvest some supplies.
Yeah. For sure.
So I've got the village card now. I just got the farm card.
Okay.
That was the last thing that happened when I played.
Okay.
So I know that you and Chase probably progressed farther than I have. But where are you at with things?
So Chase, the other co-host of the show, he just beat this second boss, who I've not made it to yet. I've beaten the first boss multiple times, so we can go to Act 2. There's 3 classes in the game, and I have all 3 unlocked. So the starting class is the warrior that you have. The next one is the rogue, and then the final is a necromancer.
Now, is it the same character playing these different classes?
It looks that way, like the character model, but I don't know if that's how it's intended, but I think it's pretty damn close to that.
Because it seems like your character is the only one capable of doing this task that's laid out in front of you in this game.
So I think you're just like running different classes as the same person. There's a lot to unpack here, and I'm not going to be able to do it all in this video, but let me give you and the viewers here kind of a quick overview. I know that you know a lot of this already. Mm-hmm. So this is your menu when you start the game up if you're continuing on, and there's a few things to note. So here on the far left, this is going to be your deck menu. So this is a deck building game, which is really interesting, and this does come into play quite a bit. Currently, I can have up to 15 cards in my hand. I choose to keep a lower quantity in my hand based off of Chase's advice, and it's worked well. On any deck building game, he says the less cards you have in your hand, the better. So this is what I'm running with right now. Over on the right, you get tooltips as you mouse over any of these cards. One of the interesting things is a lot of these cards have some sort of synergy with other cards on there, and I'll show some of that in the loop here. They don't tell you about that. I mean, a little bit they do, but it's really intended to be more of a kind of trial by error. Yeah,
like discovery. You know, you'll figure these things out as you play the game. Really, it has a very light touch. Like there's a very simple tutorial that walks you through part of your first loop, and then like, okay, have fun.
Down here. Sorry, go on.
I really like that in a game where it doesn't
for sure
overtly tell you what's going on with every little thing.
Down here, you're going to see readout for what your character's health and items would be. Some more statistics on what that is. You can see when you go to Chapter 2, the enemies are going to gain more abilities. You are going to get more of a resource. So down here it has bonus resources. There's a 40% increase when you play in the second level. The other big area of this is the build menu, which is just over here beneath Expedition. So that's where we were at. Expedition is going to be your decks, your class, and then chapter selection. And then the build menu is really what you're working towards. So the whole thing with this game is you're just doing continual loops. And as you're doing that, you're earning loot and rewards, and then they penalize you if you die or if you leave that loop early. Now, if you make it all the way through or back to your camp, you can leave retaining all of your goods, which you'll see them down here. And each card, each biome that you had in that deck is going to produce an enemy that's going to produce a particular type of material. So if you're trying to advance and build out your area here, you're going to want to maybe look at what cards get you what you need. A few things to note. This is how you unlock the other classes, by expanding upon that. I can't remember.
I was actually unsure of how you got the new classes, so there you go.
So Refuge is what's going to get you the rogue class. It's this one over here on the left.
Okay.
And then if you do Cemetery, that's going to give you the ability to go up here to your Crypt, and that's where you get your Necromancer class.
That's a little on the nose, but okay.
Yes, a little on the nose. So Refuge and then Crypt is where you get those other classes. But there's a lot here. So I haven't had the chance to build a bridge. Unfortunately, Lumberjack Smack does not have a Lumberjack.
I was going to say, where's the Lumberjack?
But yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that you do here. This is what's going to, like, most of these unlock other playing cards as well. So you're going to get more biomes and things like that from it, like the Supply Depot. Or I'm sorry, the Intel Center is what got you the Sand Dune cards that we have right now. But this is what's interesting about this game is like all these buttons you see over here, like Encyclopedia. I didn't get that until I got the Intel Center or the library, and so now I can come into this and I can actually learn about each card or what the enemy drop rate are going to be. So like there's some crazy details.
Man.
Yeah, so like nuts. If I can learn about all these particular types of enemies that you're going to see, or like how these cards would intersect together. Like a blacksmith hammer, like just crazy shit.
Has some layers,
and then I can actually craft things now too. So if I need a certain material, I have the ability to craft stuff now, and then I have supplies. It's really dense. So enough about the menus, because that can be pretty overwhelming. We're going to show you how the game works when we play it. I'm going to play as a warrior class based off of what everybody else has when they first start the game up. And my deck is going to be a little bit different than what you're going to have, but not crazy. And I'll explain some of that when we're going.
Here we go.
There's 2 phases. So I just stopped the game, essentially. And you can see it says at the top, planning. Both of which you have the ability to advance. So like the game is kind of on rails in a sense. So like you don't have any control over progressing over the loop. It's automatically going, but I can pause the menu anytime I want to.
Right.
And I can
even in the middle of combat, you can right click or hit the space bar. It'll shift to planning mode. As soon as that battle's over, it pauses. And
if you hover over any of the items over here where I'm at right now, it'll pause combat. So one of the things I did unlock for the warrior class is that you get some starting items. So I'm just going to equip those by dragging them. And as you go over it, you're going to see this is a readout of what they do. So the warrior class really hangs out in these 4 spaces. You have a weapon, a ring, a shield, and armor. Where some of the other classes are going to be more down in these particular areas based off what you're running with. So the enemies, there's 2 bars up here to pay attention to. You have your day progress. So at the end of each day, the enemies respawn. But over here underneath your stats, as you start to build things in, you're going to see that you might get a health boost or anything like that at the end of each day. This meter here is a map completion. When this bar is filled, the boss of this chapter will appear on the campfire tile. This is home base. This is your campfire. You're going to make a loop all the way around, and I have it set up to always stop here. One of the reasons is you can leave the campfire and retain all of your gear. So if you start to build this thing out, which we're going to, you're going to get back to this campfire, and that's where you're going to want to hang out, heal up, because you're always going to heal when you pass it, but you can also get the hell out of Dodge when you're there. So we're about to have a first encounter, and again, I'm not controlling any of this combat. You get this really cool kind of Final Fantasy-esque menu that pops up, and so we just got 3 items from that. We've got 2 tile cards, and we've got a new axe. This axe is the same exact damage output, so I'm not going to change that out. You will notice also that there's color coding for rarity of items. And all that will denote is the damage usually stays the same. So if I have like a level 1, but it's orange, well, orange is the highest. That means I'm going to have 4 other abilities tied to it. And I'll explain more as that happens. So we've got 2 cards here, one being a meadow and one being a grove. I'm going to try and be brief with this because I can spend a lot of time talking about it. Meadow is going to be what builds out your HP that you get at the beginning of each day. So the more meadow tiles you have all across here, when I slide this up, you can now see that we have a grid to use. I have a strategy with meadows that I use that I'll kind of organically talk about, but meadows are what's going to heal you at the beginning of each day. And then groves, as you can see over there on the right, they spawn a rat wolf every 2 days, and the wolf can move to an adjacent tile. So I typically keep rat wolves early on in the battle. They can be a little bit difficult, but I'm going to put one right here where I'm at because I get a resource also through going through there. So I'll let this run a little bit and kind of talk as we're going through it. Johnny, share, chime in, ask questions, whatever you have there.
Sure. Sand dunes, eh?
Yeah, they lower all creatures' HP by 1%.
Oh, that seems handy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wait to use the meadows until you have a treasury or some other building that doubles the resources that you put around it?
Typically, yeah. I fill them in. The thing about, like, so here, I'm going to pause for a second because like my strategy, the way that I like to play this, I typically always put my rock and mountain formation up in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm going to start with my rock, and I'm going to put that here. Now, the thing about this is when I fill in 9 tiles with rock or mountain, they become a mountain peak. That's going to give me a big boost on my health because this is an overall plus 5 HP for each adjacent rock or mountain. So this is what's building out my overall health there. This mountain peak gives me a big boost, but it also spawns a harpy every few days. Yep. So I put this here, and then this big left side, the way that this is placed out, I usually place my treasuries there, but I use the rocks also for these meadows. So like what I would do is I would have meadows going here because they're going to be against this rock formation. And anytime you place a meadow next to something that is not a meadow, it becomes a blooming meadow. And that blooming meadow goes up it goes to 3 HP instead of 2. So you kind of leave money on the table if you're not placing these correctly. And then up here, like you'll see me do like rock mount, like I'll do a rock or a mountain here, a meadow, rock, meadow, rock, meadow. So when I have like these one little pathways here, I'll build out my stats that way. And you'll see me start to do that. And now that I got sand dunes and deserts, which sand dunes lowers all creatures by 1%, and a desert lowers every creature's HP by 0.5. So I'll start to stack those as well. And you'll see here that you can fight more than one enemy at once.
Yeah, you'll get ganged up on occasionally.
Yeah. So I just got a bunch of stuff here. Let me go over what this looks like because I got some colored items. There's really like
a rapier there.
Yeah, I got a rapier here that does vampirism. So most rapiers are going to do vampirism, which I really like that ability a whole lot.
Yeah, me too.
It's one of my favorite ones in the game. And then this armor does the same thing. So you'll notice that there's like 3 pieces of armor here, and each armor has a different look to it. Like these 2 are the same, but this one has a higher count on it. I can move stuff around in this window, but once this is full, it's just going to get rid of the oldest item first. This is considered to be like the vampire armor here. So that style with like the flared collar, you'll always know when that comes through that like I don't even have to look at it. I know that that's going to give me vampirism. So I can put that here, and now I've got a total stack of 12 vampirism. So that means that every time I'm hitting something, 12% of that is coming back to me in health, which is really awesome. The only other thing I like to do sometimes outside of vampirism is damage to all, and we can talk more about that. So even though like I have 86 down, I'm a level 1 here, I'm also getting 2 defense in that vampirism. So I'm going to skip on these 2, and that's just my strategy. Now this weapon does more damage than what my rapier does, but I'm also getting a health regeneration and vampirism on it. A little overkill for this early in the game, but we're going to run with it anyway.
I mean, it's all about striking that balance and, you know, weighing the benefits and whatnot against each other. That's like, I would say this is also a strategy game, and so
Well, speaking of strategy, we're about to do what I consider to be kind of an advanced move strategy here. So, again, Chase is really good at this game. This is kind of his bread and butter. He's taught me a lot, so I'm gonna mimic some of the stuff that he's done here. Johnny, the sooner that you can get the village and the wheat fields unlocked, the better you're gonna be. And the village is gonna heal 20 HP every time you step on that tile. So what I like to do is like I'm gonna heal up here at my camp when I come through it. I typically build my village halfway through the map. That way. That's
what I've been doing as well.
Perfect. So we've got some spots up here to look at with it. I'm going to place that here. Now this wheat field can only be placed next to a village, but it also increases that village's ability to heal you by 5. So the way that I will do this, because I like to do 2 wheat fields in between each village tile to really maximize that. So I'll put that wheat field here. I'll put another wheat field here. Wheat field, so village there and village there. And that way I've got a really big string of those. Now, I haven't talked about this vampire mansion. It adds a vampire to the battle, and it's a really big tile. So it's a 9x9 tile. So that means that right here, wherever I'm at, anything that's in that blue, there's going to be a vampire that spawns and fights beside it. One of the cool things about this game, as I mentioned, was the synergy. If I take this up here to the village, and I drop it on my village, this is now a ransacked village. It's a pretty tough fight. You got to make it through 3 loops. So early game, we're on loop level 1. We're in a pretty okay spot. But once I clear this ransacked village out after 3 loops, it becomes this crazy powerful healing village, and I'll show you what that looks like as well. So we're going to keep that there. Be cautious though, because this is a pretty tough fight, because you have a vampire on top of these ghouls that are in there. So we'll keep moving. I'll go ahead and put this other meadow there. And we got some more rocks, so I'll place those up here. And the way I typically do my format, I like to do rock, mountain, rock, mountain, rock, rock, and just kind of break it up that way. And I do have some meadows that I can put up here. So that became a blooming meadow. Like, I'm typically waiting for a treasury, but I don't want this to get too full for me. So we'll keep going that route. Alright, so this is our first loop. We actually got some decent stuff out there. Decent gear. I have earned 3 healing potions. We got our rapier there. We'll keep going. So let's just see how this loop goes. This is a rat wolf. They're a little bit of a tougher fight, especially compared to the blobs. Some more meadows, and we just got 2 of those resources. That's going to live up here, what we have going. And we're not really taking a lot of damage, and we're hitting pretty fast, so I feel good about that. I can drag this rock up here, and I'm going to put that rock there.
I think something else that's awesome about this game is the soundtrack.
I love the soundtrack so much, man. All right, here's this. This is a big ass fight.
Oh boy.
But we're holding our own. I mean, we're taking a little bit of damage there. And unfortunately, you don't get to choose what attacks first. So we're not attacking this vampire. And actually, I'm going to swap that out. Put my ring on. I've got that shield. So you lose what you don't have. I'm sorry, you lose what you replace over here. So as I'm putting things on here, you're seeing that go away. And it does pause the battles. I go over it like we talked about. So I'll pause really quick. That was, look, I mean, we took some damage. I knew this was going to be a tough one, but we've got pretty smooth sailing here. I'm going to heal up here, so I'm not overly concerned at this time for what that would be. I'll go ahead and place some of our sand dunes up here, just as that's getting a little full.
It's a happy little desert.
Happy little desert. So we heal back up there. Again, we'll be in an alright spot. I'll probably hang off on the grove just because I've got 2 already spawned there. And this is kind of the game. Like, we're going to continue to build upon this, and it's going to grow and do some crazy stuff. At this point in time, we've got decent resources. I don't see a need to leave. I feel like we're almost back to full HP. So we're doing a lot of counter now, and that's coming from this. We got a plus 16 chance to do a counter, and that's really nice. nice in addition. So you can start to do some pretty nasty stuff there. And that was a hell of a drop for this early in the game. Loop level 3 got 2 4s. So that goes up to 368.
I've gotten some pretty nice stuff like early on in the game that I ended up hanging on to until well into my run.
So what I would do here, Johnny,
mercy of the RNG, you know?
Yeah, big time. Like, I'm going to go with this one. Even though the armor is a bit less than what this one here is, I'm still going to stack my counter up. And now our counter has we have a 35% chance to counter on every hit, which is great.
That's nuts.
Nuts. So you'll see that in action here. We should be countering almost every single time. Not almost, but a lot. Could really go for a treasury card. So these cards down here, as you progress the game, if you don't use them, they'll start to drop off like everything else will. And it's just a kind of, you just let it ride its thing.
It's if you don't use it, you lose it. As the saying goes.
We just got some nice stuff going into this here. So that's enticing. It's a damage to all 4, but I don't want to take away that counter. Same thing here for this rapier. And I could actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go down in my shield, but I'm going to add in my counter. So now I'm at 47% counter.
Almost half the time you will counter the attack. That's good.
So we're taking some decent damage, though. I'm not overly confident right now. Might have been a little overzealous. But we'll keep at it. That's gonna help out. We just got that bonus up there. That quest.
Good. Ooh.
Okay, so now, as I mentioned, I can put another meadow down. So I can essentially put a village here and a village here, and I can add those in. But I did just unlock this. So this is a trait. I don't know if you got these yet or not.
I did, yeah.
Okay. So the hero rushes into the battle head on, and his first attack, I don't want to do that one. This is one that I always do. Damage increased by 20% of defense value. I like that one quite a bit. But you get to you'll fill up this progress bar beneath your health, and that's where you're gonna see those there. Meadows do spawn scarecrows, and so
meadow or wheat field.
Wheat field. I'm sorry, wheat field. Thank you. Been hit too many times. We took some significant damage here.
These goddamn vampires.
These gosh damn vampires. So I'm going to put this one on there. That's going to be the same shield we have right now, but just with some better stats. So that does take us up over that 50%. And then that is going to add in the same level, but an increase in defense. And we'll rock through there. So we're not going to heal up fully here at the old campfire, but maybe we'll be all right. We just got to get through that one more time. Ooh, that'll help out though. Battlefields are really cool. They spawn a chest at the beginning of each loop, and that's going to give us some really nice gear. I always try to place those right by your camp.
Yeah, same here.
And there's a mountain. I'll wait for one more mountain to finish that off, but I can put this meadow up there now, so that'll help out. And I'll go ahead and put 2 more desert tiles like so.
Now, if you place enough of the desert tiles clumped together, does it turn into anything else?
Not that I've seen so far.
Okay.
So here's the good news. We have accounts land now. So not only, if you remember, it was 20 HP increase when you entered the village the first time. Now we get 135 when we go into it. So
pretty good.
That was well worth what we went through. Our health is at 336. I feel pretty good about where this will go, especially getting this chest here right now. And sometimes, you know, I mean, counter goes down by 5, but I do get an attack speed up. I'm fine with that trade-off considering we're at 51. I think that's a fair trade-off. Still getting a decent amount of counters here. Pretty significant weapon increase there. And now we get to fight a ghost. There's our mountain to round off our mountain peak.
Go.
So that...
Now a harpy will appear somewhere on the map.
Yep, that gave us 120 HP increase. Plus 5 additional HP for every adjacent mountain rock tile. Spawns a harpy every 2 days. Which is pretty great. So that helps out a whole lot. You're starting to see how the sausage gets made here. Like, this is... We're starting to see the actual framework for what this is.
Yeah. You know, we're 4 loops in. I feel like we're getting some good, not rolls, but some good cards, some decent tiles.
So a goblin camp. One of my absolute least favorite things in the game. Spawns a goblin. Basically for every 10 mountain or rock tiles that you have, one of these will happen. And they suck. Goblins are a pain in the ass to fight. I hate them. But it's a trade-off here because I wanted to get some more health respawn and that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything else in this game. It's weighing, you know, the different outcomes, and I don't know. There's always, like, you never just get something for free.
No.
There's always a price that you have to pay. And that's what makes it
sweet,
an interesting game.
All right, so you mentioned earlier a treasury. This is going to give you resources. So here's the best advice I can give everybody. This needs to be in a situation where it can grow 9 tiles out. And people, like, by looking at it, like, oh, well, I need to have 9 tiles around this, because the way that they do it, you would say, like, I'm going to place it right here, because then I can build around it. But if I go over here, I can drop that, and now I've got myself in a really good situation because I can condense this over here and build more. And as I place, so traditionally if I would have waited over here, I wouldn't have got these blooming meadows, because I have these rock formations here. I can connect everything, and it's going to be super tight. So when I get another treasury, I can put that, you know, I can place that treasury where it needs to be here. So I could put a mountain in this location, but if I have anything on this bottom row right now, before I get another treasury, it's not going to let me place it next to it. So I keep that bottom row open, and I fill in this area until I get another treasury, and then I place it, and then I fill in. It just maximizes your efficiency. In early game, it doesn't matter too much, but as you progress the game, you're going to want to really start to look at that. So we'll see where we go. Like, we're going to run a few more loops. I did just get an Oblivion card that erases any tile on it. I can tell you right now, you want to have at least 4 of those, 3 to 4 of those saved up, if you can, for your big boss battle for this one. I don't think we're going to get to the boss on this, so I'm going to go ahead and use it to get rid of that goblin camp, because I fucking hate goblin camps.
Yeah, for sure. Goblins are assholes.
They're awful. Okay, we'll keep going. So our health goes back up to 517. We're going to get through this area here, no problem. Like, we're in a pretty damn good spot.
Yeah.
If you saw that crown, or you see these yellow bars around this enemy, that means that it's like a quest reward, essentially. Like, there's a bounty out through the quest to take this particular character out. So I get a bit of a boon there with it. Got another Oblivion too, which is great. And counter plus 11, so this one is a definite increase. And that's a harpy that we're fighting right there. That came down from the mountain peak.
She's hitting pretty hard.
She hits very hard. She is a hard-hitting individual. So I'll try and hang on to that Oblivion a little bit. And this is one of the goblin leaders. That's pretty nice, though. So we're going to get our counter on top of this. Plus, like, that is a stack. Counter with vampirism.
Yes.
So if we drop that down here, we're getting 8% back on every hit, plus 56% chance to counter. I'll drop my meadow up here. And we're good. We're going to keep moving. Health went... I mean, definitely... We're taking damage, for sure. But having vampirism on there is going to help build that back up. And we're not really going for that build. Like, if I was focusing on vampirism, which, I mean, it's RNG to your point, I would, and I don't have damage to all on either, which that is going to be a thing. Now that's a pretty decent piece of gear. It's going to take our counter down quite a bit, but we are going to gain some. I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to wait on that one.
I mean, what's the counter on that armor? 16%?
That I have. This
19%?
is 19. Yeah, that's a pretty big,
okay, that would take a big chunk out of it.
So we're getting more items with each one of those runs. Attack speed 374. I'm not happy with our sustaining health right now. Like, I would not feel good. Here's our other treasury, by the way. So I can place that one here now.
Yeah, we would have a tough going of it if we were to try and fight the Lich right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. So you see how I'm kind of building this out now, right?
Yeah. Yes.
We'll give it just a little bit longer, and then probably wrap up. This is a tougher game to like slow down. I mean, it's not tough to slow down and talk about it. It just requires there's a lot of spinning plates right now, and it can be like really difficult.
Lots of things to consider.
I mean, it took me multiple times. So that chest turned into a mimic. It is hitting back, and it hits pretty hard. 30 hits.
I hate mimics, Bobby. I hate them.
I hate them.
That's.
I mean, we're getting
like in Dark
rocked.
Souls. It's you'll think it's a treasure chest, because you know who wouldn't trust a treasure chest, and then it just fucking eats you, and you die.
So we got another battlefield, and the thing to note, like I could put it here because it's right there, but that's going to create a blood path where it overlaps. I would just say no. Like I would put it over here, and that way you just got two chests that spawn without creating that blood path, because those are pretty nasty to fight. I mean, we're not doing good.
No.
We're not doing good at all. Which I will show you if we can make it through this, which I don't feel very good about. I might just put that on and throw that on there just to get us through this.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're taking some heavy damage, but looking across the way, oh shit, I forgot about the vampire. Okay, there's some meadows. Come on. I can put
Get in our
another
teeth.
one. Yeah, this, I don't think we're gonna make it. Well, if we can get up here. There's gonna be a vampire fight there, though, I think. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it past this one. I think we're gonna die. Yep. Damn.
So
this is a good lesson. This is what we wanted to not have happen, but this is essentially the game. What we should have done is we should have left at the campfire when we were there. So what we keep,
got too greedy.
We got too greedy. Now I don't know. I think for each time that you fight the Lich King, you get these here, which allows you to take all of what you lost. And I'm not going to waste it here because we didn't get very far into it. I don't have gear that, I mean, I will wait.
Yeah, it's not worth burning through one of those.
No.
To keep all those mats.
So when we retreat, we come back here. We'll have some items come into it, and then you can see if there's like items that you can build out. Like I could do this mud hut here, which might not be a bad idea.
A good mud hut.
This watchtower lets me build a crossbowman will help me by the campfire, but I'm really working towards this warehouse. I think that's where I want to go next, and get that going there. So I think that's. I mean, look, I'm by no means a strategic, savant. I just really like this fucking game, and I love spending time in this game. I love everything about it. It's one of my favorite games to come out this year.
Yeah. Same.
I can't get enough of it, and we play this like we've had a lot of streams with this game already. So we wanted to make something that was a bit more contained to walk through. If anybody wanted to like get a look at what this game is, that follows our channel. But again, like we've done this game quite a bit on our Twitch streams. So if you really wanted to see it in action, the Twitch streams have been a ton of fun for it. There's been some really great input from chat while we're going through the loops on like what we should do and what we should play. Johnny, appreciate you making time this morning to hang out and do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'll wrap us up here. We are the Casual Hour. We stream 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We record our podcast Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We post that on all platforms Fridays at 9 a.m. Central Time. This upcoming week, well, I'm not even going to say it on here because it doesn't matter, because this is going to be an evergreen video, hopefully. But I'm playing a lot of Fights in Tight Spaces and Monster Hunter right now. So we'll be playing some of that stuff on the
new hotness. Monster Hunter Rise.
The new. But Johnny, I appreciate you hanging out and being a part of this. It's a lot of fun. We haven't done one of these together yet. Usually it's just Chase and I, so I appreciate you being on. And that is our
I'm
video.
happy that we finally made it happen, and we did it with such a cool game.
Yeah, man. Loop Hero, check it out. It is on PC right now. They have intentions to bring it to other platforms, but for the time being, it is just here on PC. We're the Casual Hour, and we will see you all soon.